Hello everyone, welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian filling in for Jim Rogers today. A man and a woman from Fort Worth were arrested for burglarizing a convenience store in Como just before 2:30 a.m. Wednesday. More from Hopkins County Sheriff Lewis Tatum.
We had a store burglarized in the Como area, and it's the second time it's happened in a short period of time, and the officers were prepared. I mean, they knew it was coming again, so they got they've been in the area and been working suspicious vehicles and stuff when it came out.
So they just were patrolling the area and just saw some activity and...
Well, they were, one officer was close, alarm came out, he was in there. Dan Turntine, a Hopkins County patrolman, was there within just a short period of time and observed a dark-colored SUV leaving Highway 11 east, but it was traveling west towards town, and he contacted the other deputies while he secured the building, and also with Sulphur Springs PD, and let them know what he had. We already had officers at Highway 11 east around the Walmart area headed his direction. Sulphur Springs PD officers set up on 1870, only 2 routes back to town, and Sulphur Springs Patrolman Justin Finley observed the vehicle and got him stopped around Helm Lane, and inside the vehicle was approximately 90 packs of cigarettes and some alcohol. We were unsure at the time where the alcohol came from. They put out a Region 1, and come to find out it was stolen out of Cass County just a short period of time. They barely had time to drive from Cass County to here from the burglary down there.
Were they able to get anything out of the Como store, or did the alarm chase them out? Or?
No, they got 90 packs of cigarettes.
Oh, that was...
Yeah, the 90 packs of cigarettes came from Como. Oh. And then the alcohol come from Cass County.
They've seen any JP or anything yet? Or
they're being arraigned right at this moment, or already have been. I'm not sure exactly what the bond's set at. But this is also, they're going to be the ones that, on the 28th, that burglarized the same store. Mm-hmm. Vehicle, everything's going to match up. So I think we've got a pretty good case on them for the 28th of December also.
So you're looking at maybe 2 cases here in the Cass County case?
In the Cass County case, and they were also, on the 28th, they hit a store here in Sulphur Springs also. And Detective David Gilmore is working with our investigators, and they're working on that, trying to tie it all together.
All right. So just good work to get this one wrapped up.
Boy, it is. And one thing we don't like around here is thieves, you know, and we got it caught pretty quick, so we're glad.
Very good. Thank you. Justice of the Peace B.J. Tier charged 27-year-old Vondrick Deshaun Gomez II and 25-year-old Evelyn Carter with burglary of a building. J.P. Tier set bond for Gomez at $200,000 and for Carter at $150,000.
First Baptist Church has planned a grandparents conference, and that's set for Friday, January 11th from 6 to 9 p.m. It will include a meal. Tickets are $15 a person and $25 for a couple. This conference is for grandparents, great-grandparents, and anyone who is involved or helping to raise their grandchildren. Find out more at the First Baptist Church office or from Fred Lewis or Bruce Welch.
We're excited simply because there are so many grandparents out there, and we're going to have a grandparent conference just for grandparents. And it can be great-grandparents or just grandparents.
Okay.
But it's going to be this coming weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend on Friday night. Bruce, tell them about it.
Well, on January the 11th, Catherine Jacobs is coming to talk to our grandparents from our church. And any church, we'd invite anybody to be a part of that. She's going to be speaking about 3 different things. The main thing is called passing the legacy. Okay. Part of that will be, she'll be talking about pursuing healthy relationships with loved ones and healing broken relationships, and how to leave a well-written legacy of love. For those 3 things are what she'll be covering, and it's going to be it'll include a meal.
Okay.
6 to 9 on Friday, the 11th.
January 11th.
Okay, and we'll remind them here on the radio about that important date. And will they need special seating, or just come as you would like?
Yeah, just come as you are.
Okay.
No special seating, no special, attire necessary, just whatever they want to wear.
Okay.
And
well, it sounds like something I'm very interested in finding out, the reason why you planned this. And I think I kind of know. Us grandparents know we play an important role in our grandchildren's lives, but everyone is starting to realize this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The important thing is that we have an opportunity to pour in our lives into other people's lives. And it's the relationship that you build as grandparent to grandchild that allows us to give our love and our attention, our care, our understanding, and pass on our value structure to our younger generation. I was listening to someone, a former teacher, and they were telling how the military coalition comes into their class and teaches them about the flag and about military. And a role as a grandparent is the same way. You have the opportunity. They love to hear stories. They love to hear how it used to be. And so it's a great opportunity. What we're trying to do is help grandparents see how important their role is in their grandchildren's lives, and to pass on this legacy of value and legacy of love into the next generation.
Well, I think a lot of grandparents are busy people. Yeah. People are working longer and staying active longer than maybe in generations past. So we might be busy, but yet reminded that this is a great opportunity for us to be involved with those grandkids.
That's right. Yes, that's right. When I first became a parent, we talked about how parenting doesn't come with instructions. Neither does grandparenting. However, God has given us the ability to learn from others who've been there before us, both what they did well and what they wish they had done better. And so this is part of that opportunity to learn from those who have done it well. Catherine Jacobs has done it well. She has grandchildren of her own. She's talked with others. In fact, she's part of a nationwide network that goes around doing these things all over the nation. And so we are blessed to have learned about her. In fact, her daughter-in-law was a member of our church. She grew up in our church. So that's how we found out about her, about Catherine. And so her expertise she's bringing with her, and she'll help us. Although we don't have an instruction manual, she's going to kind of help us and have an instruction manual so we can learn how to be better grandparents.
And it's good for us to realize that we really are a resource. And
yes.
I think we know that. We have known that. And there's so much we want to pass on to our grandkids. And sometimes opportunities, don't exactly allow the full effect that we would like to give, but little snatches here and there. But this helps and this counts.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
This is why we really want to do it, is to help grandparents to become better grandparents. Mm-hmm. And it's so important today for grandparents to realize how important their role is with the younger generations. They love the stories. They love to hear how it used to be. And it just gives them an opportunity to pour a lot of love and time and relationship into their grandchildren's life.
Well, also, advice is needed. Advice is needed. We think we can detect those areas, but being able to impart that is always tricky. Mm-hmm. And so, it's needed someone with a little more time and experience to examine things going on in their lives, from the schoolroom to teenage years and even beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I know that it's so busy in our life schedule. We all are busy, but children need just the love and time. Someone said the best way to spell love is T-I-M-E. And that's so true. Children love to have grandparents, or great-grandparents even, take the time to spend with them.
It's found to be true here in Hopkins County and many other places that lots of grandparents are now raising grandchildren full time.
Yes, yes. They're constantly being parents again because of schedule, jobs, different things. And this is why grandparents are so important in the life of a child.
This is really documented because at Community Chest, they began in this past year of 2018 a very successful program of going out into some of the far-reaching communities of Hopkins County to offer their helpful services and food pantry. And so gradually they began to have people coming to the meeting day that they would hold. And a lot of times it was senior citizens. Now, we connect senior citizens maybe with being on a limited or fixed income, but they're finding that they need these food items and they need these services because they have a household of children again.
That's right.
Right. And this is why it's so important, is that there are a lot of children that have no one, and grandparents can be that someone.
Yeah.
To be able to be special in that child's life.
Yeah. So whether they're grandparents who have become effectively parents in their children and grandchildren's lives, or if they're just traditional kind of grandparents, the point of this conference is to help them do those things better as they have opportunity to kind of pour into their lives and of their grandchildren, as well as their children who are parenting their grandchildren. We have found that the millennial generation, the one who are having the children that we are grandparents of and all of that, they are open in a new way now than they have been in the past.
Right.
They want to hear how they've done it, how they have parented, and how now they are grandparenting in ways that they haven't before. We have found that in our own church to be true, as well as we have read those things in books, and we have found that the things we read are in fact true here in Hopkins County too.
It's gratifying when a grown child who's struggling with maybe their first baby or first child and the discipline problems will call or email or whatever and say, "Mom,
absolutely,
how did you do this?"
Yeah.
So we are really a resource, and that's what the Grandparents Conference is really celebrating and also instructing about.
That's right.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention, there is a cost associated with it.
Okay.
It's $15 per person or $25 for a couple.
Okay.
And you can get those tickets either online at our website, which is www.ssfbc.org, or they can just come by the church office and buy a ticket.
Okay.
First Baptist Church office located at 116 Oak Avenue here in Sulphur Springs.
Okay.
The cost, though, is to help cover the cost of the meal.
Primarily.
Yes.
Okay. 6 to 9 p.m. on Friday, January 11th at First Baptist Church.
That's correct, in our fellowship hall.
Okay. And all grandparents, great-grandparents.
Great.
Okay.
We have a few.
Yes.
Are invited and could benefit from this.
Yes.
It's interesting, Nola, that even today, like never before since Moses or Abraham, a lot of grandparents are now great grandparents. We're in the third and fourth generation now of people, which is wonderful. I mean, it's just great when you can think that now they're having great grandchildren.
We have many fourth generation families in our church. So we have found that by experience.
Well, I'm glad that you've brought this out. It's a great time to do so as our year is getting started, because it was going to be a year of blessings and a year of challenges for all of us as parents, grandparents, or whatever.
That's right.
So, Grandparents Conference, First Baptist Church, Friday, January 11th, and again about the cost structure.
Yes, $15 per person or $25 for a couple. And they can buy those tickets online at our website, or drop by the church office and pick up one.
That evening of Friday, January 11th, 6 to 9 p.m., and a meal is included.
Yes.
And it's in the fellowship hall.
Fellowship hall? Okay. That's all right.
That's great.
And you're always welcome at First Baptist Church.
Absolutely.
Yes,
okay. Thank you, Bruce Welch, for coming in.
Thank you.
Also, Fred Lewis.
Thank you.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you
too.
God bless.
A report from an internet site and a Twitter feed Tuesday morning say that Wildcats sharpshooting guard Keyston Willis has made his choice of a college where he will be playing basketball. A report from verbalcommits.com and a tweet from Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipolletta say Willis has given an oral commitment to the University of the Incarnate Word Cardinals in San Antonio. Willis selected Incarnate Word from several offers he had received. Willis, a senior, is a 4-year member of the Wildcats varsity basketball team. The Lady Cats soccer team practiced in the multipurpose building on Wednesday morning. The Lady Cats have had road scrimmages last Friday and Saturday, and they'll open the regular season, weather permitting, in a Terrell tournament against Red Oak at 12:15 Thursday. I talked with Lady Cats soccer coach Joel Bailey about the scrimmages and more.
First off the bat, Pleasant Grove. That much improved on their side. We're shaking off the cobwebs, coming off some key injuries and some key players, and they jumped on us early. Went down, and in the second half we scored a goal, but it ended up being 3-1. The goals that we gave up, they weren't just, oh shoot, they caught us off guard. It was just great saves initially, and then just rebounds, right place, the right time. So 3-1 is probably not a realistic perspective on what it looked like. Played Halsell the next day. They're solid, like always. We knew that coming in, and they returned a lot of key players, and they jumped on us early, and we got frustrated a little bit, just trying to build and chip away, and they just outmatched us. And some days you're going to be the best, and some days you're not. You just got to deal with it and roll with the punches, and they shut us out 5-0. And obviously you go wanting to get better, wanting positive results moving forward in the tournament play. Unfortunately, we just came up short in the first two, but it's not how you finish the season, not how you start. So we're just trying to focus on the positives right now, and going to have a challenge. I mean, the weather's going to be challenging, obviously, but it levels everybody. Level playing ground when the weather's sloppy, so no one can control that. And we'll just have to jump on it early in this first tournament, get some confidence, and start rolling.
Terrell tournament, I believe Red Oak.
Yes, sir.
And that sounds like a good team.
I'm sure they're going to bring some quality talent, everybody in this tournament. Terrell's back up to a 5A classification, so they definitely have brought in some more talented teams this year, unlike last year. Last year, we held our own against the 6A team in the final, and right now we're a little banged up. I got a few that are sick, and we're not firing on all cylinders, but we're going to give it our best, and hopefully the weather will kind of pan out. But the Metroplex is calling for ice, so we're still on for the tournament, but that could change. It's January, it's Texas. It could be 85 degrees next week, but right now it's definitely not 85.
Definitely not. It looked like you were working drills today, a lot around keeping the ball out of your own net.
Correct. Just building up, transitioning out of the back, protecting the ball at all costs, and with our attacking players trying to high press their defenses and keep the ball down on the attacking end. Just working on some shape and tactics, and going to scrimmage JV for a couple of minutes, and then wrap it up and release them and get a good night's sleep, and on to Red Oak tomorrow in the Terrell tournament.
Very good. Who got your one goal in the first one?
Bailey Arrington, just a great heads-up play. Ashley Noe won the ball high in the midfield, kind of dribbled into space and played it to the weak backside, and Bailey was there to receive, took a good positive first touch in the box and just buried it, and then no one had a chance to save that ball. It was a great finish. Looking a lot out of all of our forward play to just start finding the back of the net real soon.
Of course, really, you lose a couple of scrimmage games, but everybody's 0-0 now, so it's
Absolutely.
A fresh start.
Regular season's on, cards count, records count. It's all going in the stat books from here on out. So season opener tomorrow in Terrell.
Wildcats powerlifting team members were also working to get ready for their season Wednesday in the multi-purpose building weight room. Wildcats powerlifting coach Casey Jeter said a good group turned out Wednesday morning. He said lifters also showed up last Wednesday and Friday during the holiday break. Coach Jeter said this year's Wildcats powerlifting team is a pretty young group. He said he graduated 3 of his big boys last year. Coach Jeter expects good things from a pair of lifters he says have a great chance to go to the state meet. Jesse Carrillo in the 148-pound weight class and George Greenway in the 198-pound weight class. Coach Jeter said Carson Bridges, who lifted in the 165-pound weight class last year, has added enough muscle mass to compete at 178 pounds in the 181-pound weight class. And Coach Jeter said that he also has a super heavyweight lifter, sophomore Alfredo Oliveira. He said that he has some other good young lifters as well. The first powerlifting meet is not that far away. The Wildcats powerlifters will be competing at their own Sulphur Springs meet on Saturday, January 12th. Coach Jeter called the meet one of the best meets in the state and one of the largest. Well, that's Channel 18 TV news for today. I'm Don Julian, filling in for Jim Rogers. Thank you for joining me, and so long, everybody.
It's heading for the door. Oh, hit the post.